Welcome. Good day, good day. It's been a minute since I've been on and did a reading, and I wanted to share. Just feeling inspired today, doing a lot of self-work, and I wanted to share with you guys today. You know, most people are out and enjoying the wonderful sunshine, and that's good. I've gone for 2 walks today in between seeing clients, and I have a mentoring session scheduled for myself with my beloved sister, my spiritual sister, Sister Sekhmet, Priestess Sekhmet. Check her out. She is an amazing, gifted woman, and I do highly recommend her. So anyway, let's take a moment I'd like to welcome everyone into this sacred space. I thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in the chimes. Welcome, Trey. Thank you for being here. It is a little warm out there. So let's go ahead and take a nice, deep, centering breath and welcome ourselves, all of you, and all of ourselves into this sacred space. So welcome, welcome. Please take a moment to share this video on your social media feed. Invite your friends to come and check us out. And let me just get my glasses because the light is a little bit dim over on this side of the computer. And please let me know if I am not speaking loud enough or if the background music is too loud. And what I wanted to do today is I wanted to do a little reading from the Tao Te Ching. And then before I started, I said, you know what? I will bring out my Tao Oracle cards. So we're going to do a reading. In the past, I have done readings from the Tao Te Ching in 4 different versions. Usually do that in the evening, but it's been a good while since I've done that. And I just thought I'd do one reading. And this is from a new translation by Jia Fu Feng and his wife, Jane English. Okay, very good. Thank you. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and read right here where I had the book open, which is at chapter 22 of the Tao Te Ching. And you can see the black and white photography by Jane English and the calligraphy by her late husband. And this is a magazine-sized book that I think it was published like in the early 70s or maybe late 60s. Jane is still alive, living up in, if I remember correctly, Vermont. Can you believe it? This book was once $2.95. That just shows you how old it is. Let's see, when was it published? When we would pay only $2.99, 1972. I was 2 years old when this book came out. Okay, Tao Te Ching, chapter 22. Yield and overcome. Bend and be straight. empty and be full. Wear out and be new. Have little and gain. Have much and be confused. Therefore, wise men and women embrace the one and set an example to all. Not putting on a display, they shine forth. Not justifying themselves, they are distinguished. Not boasting, they receive recognition. Not bragging, they never falter. They do not quarrel, so no one quarrels with them. Therefore, the ancients say, yield and overcome. Is that an empty saying? Be really whole, and all things will come to you. Wow, I like that last line. Be really whole, and all things will come to you. Wow, that was beautiful and really unexpected. You know, when I do my lives, and especially when I'm doing the live where it's just me and I'm sharing with you, I usually do not really plan ahead of time what I'm going to discuss or what I'm going to read. And when I set up the live earlier, I decided, you know, I need to do a live. I want to pull a card and do a reading for everyone. And when I came, you know, after my second walk and I came and sat down, I decided that I wanted to talk about letting go of drama, about being addicted to drama, because it was something that Priestess Sekhmet had said to me. And I was just sort of like playing with that. And I will get to that. But reading this passage, be really whole, and all things will come to you, it sort of ties into it. And so when Priestess Sekhmet, you know, she sort of said to me, you're addicted to drama. And I was like, you know, I'm not addicted to drama. She's like, I'm not going to argue with you. And then I was really thinking about what she was saying. And in my mind, I thought of drama as, you know, how we see it play out on social media. He said, she said, and, you know, these people are attacking these people, and then they get their gang up to go after the other people, or even in your everyday life, you know, having an argument with this person or getting stuff started up. We tend to overlook the things that we can get addicted to that are within our own selves. Because remember, whatever is happening inside of us, we tend to project it on others. Okay. And the drama that she was mentioning was, and I'll give you an example. I have a tendency, you know, I have a very good intuition about people, about things, about situations. And I would say 7, 8, 9 times out of 10, more like 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, my intuition has always been spot on. But what I do tend to do, and I know a lot of us tend to do it, is I'll second guess my intuition. So my intuition will give me an insight, you know, that spark of insight will come up. And then as soon as it comes up, there's that part of me, that doubting part, you know, that perennial doubting Thomas that always pops up, or doubting Thomasina that always pops up and says, oh, don't be so quick to judge. Don't do this. And then it wears that knowing side of me that wants to connect. It sort of wears down that connection. And then before you know it, I'm taking the side. It's kind of like that part of you that's there to kind of help you to struggle a little bit so you can overcome your stuff. I end up taking that side and then find myself in a situation where I'm sort of warring back inside of myself. And then that's where the drama comes up. The drama is, is being addicted to that feeling of being in doubt and second guess, doing something that I know I really shouldn't be doing and that it's not for my best interest or highest good, but yet I do it anyway, for whether it's being polite or whether it's being nice or whether it's simply not having proper boundaries. And as you see with this last sentence here, be really whole and all things will come to you. When you're addicted to that internal drama, you're not being whole. You're sort of split right down the middle. You know what you should do, but then that's that side of you that is saying, oh, but maybe we should do this. Maybe if we do this, it's going to have a different outcome. But because you know. And so that drama, that internal drama is splitting you apart and causing you not to be whole. And when you're not whole, you're not able to maintain and be at your peace, wholeness, shalem, which is Hebrew for complete, and shalom, which is related to shalem, which means a complete and perfect peace. You're not able to, you're not existing in that state. So I would encourage you, as I'm encouraging myself, to always listen to that still small voice and do your best, do your darndest, just do it. Don't second guess yourself. Because when you second guess yourself, you're playing out your addiction to drama, that bickering back and forth between you that leaves you stressed out, that leaves you drained and exhausted, and that blocks you off from continuing to receive the proper information that you can receive. And when you're split and you're connecting with that internal drama, because you're not doing what you know that you should be doing, you're not being whole. And when you're not being whole, you're not able to manifest, you're not able to connect and receive what is what is most beneficial for you and what is for your highest good. Now, when I say this, I'm not saying that you make mistakes and things are mistakes. No, I believe every situation is a learning situation. But you get to a point where, do you want to keep learning the same lesson over and over and over again? Or are you going to learn that lesson? Are you going to be complete? Are you going to release the drama and listen to the lesson and take it in and move forward in a steady pace and, in wholeness and in completeness? So that's what I wanted to share with you. And I will do one more reading of this chapter 22. I had no idea that is where this is going to lead. And I really feel that it does connect. And as Trace said, yes, it's that internal, that interior drama that we all, sometimes deal with. And then we don't realize that it leads out into our relationships with other people, whether it's our children, our spouse, our significant other, our friends, even driving down the street when people get road rage and all of that. Is because a lot of the times we are all engaged in internal drama with ourselves, doing what doesn't feel good to ourselves, but because society dictates this is what we need to be doing. And we squash that inner flame. So let's take one more reading before I pull a card for us. So that's the Tao Te Ching, chapter 22. Yield and to overcome. Bend and be straight. Empty and be full. Wear out and be new. Have little and gain. Have much and be confused. Therefore, wise men and women embrace the one and set an example to all. Not putting on a display, they shine forth. Not justifying themselves, they are distinguished. Not boasting, they receive recognition. Not bragging, they never falter. They do not quarrel, so no one quarrels with them. And I like that line because when you negate your intuition, when you negate your inner knowing, when you shoot down your inner knowing, what are you doing? You're quarreling with yourself. And once you begin to quarrel with yourself and deny yourself and stuff yourself down, the logical next step is you're going to quarrel with those around you, starting with the closest relationships to you. Therefore, the ancients say, yield and overcome. Is that an empty saying? Be really whole, and all things will come to you. So there we go. And that again was Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching, and it was a new translation by Jia Fu Feng and Jane English. So there you go. And before I go, let me take a little sip of water. So as I shuffle this deck, I'm going to pull from the Tao Oracle, which is basically the I Ching on cards, which I really like. I want to encourage you to take time to connect with yourself, to sit in stillness with yourself and recognize, shine the spotlight, shine the light on those places and those spaces where you can release. Shine the spotlight on those places, as someone posted on Facebook, where you tell yourself those BS lies and hold yourself back. So you know when that inner voice pops up and it's giving you information and you just shoot it down, you negate it. You're like, oh, you're just being too judgmental, you're just this or that. You're lying to yourself. And it does sort of hampers your development and what you're intending to do. So take a little bit of time to assess yourself and your situation. And if you're truly being honest with yourself. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, how are you being honest in any other situation in your life? So let me go ahead and pull a card. Okay, so this is the card I pulled. I haven't even looked at it yet. You can see that. All right, let me put my specs on and see what it says. The attraction of opposites. So this is hexagram number 44. And it's the attraction of opposites. So that's the yin and the yang coming together. Seduction, temptation, magnetism, a passionate encounter, meeting halfway, coupling, sexual union. So I look at this, and again, I can relate it to what we were just speaking of, that inner drama, you know, where we become split right down the middle, where our mind and our hearts are not being one, you know. So here's a little bit of energy where we can focus on attracting those two opposites, bringing those two opposite realms together, bringing the mind and the heart together, bringing the intuition and our desires together and allowing them to become one. Because then once we become one and truly harness that energy, one of the last phrases on this card, it says sexual union. Well, if you look at it, there's a lot of energy in a sexual union. There's a lot of energy that's generated. So becoming one within yourself, you're allowing yourself to connect fully with all of your power, with all of your inner power. You're allowing yourself to be grounded, and you're allowing yourself to be able to receive what the universe has for you, what your inner knowing, your higher self, your oversoul, what all of it has to give you. And when you allow those opposite forces inside of you to unify, to become one, you're truly able to then live your life mission. You're truly able then to become your best self and to really have the energy to do what you need to do. Sexual energy is the most powerful and profound energy. Connecting the heart, the heaven, the heart, and that root energy into one, and allowing it to really come forth in your life. When you're constantly warring and there's constantly friction and you're constantly going against yourself, going against your best judgment, I like to take that phrase, and going against your best discernment, then there's friction, then there's no union, and then there's no energy. You're basically, you're impotent. You're unable to function. You're unable to move properly. You can begin to feel depression, fatigue, and illnesses and ailments. They first begin in the energetic body, in the energy field, and then after they sat there and you haven't dealt with it, and they sit there and they sit there, then it begins to manifest in your physical body, your energy body, your mind, and then your physical body. And then it's that much more difficult to release. So let's work on this week bringing our opposing selves together and focusing on unity within self. Everybody wants peace in the world and unity in the world, but we're all walking around with two fragments of ourselves rubbing up against ourselves and never settling to bring it into one. And just realize that when you're doing this work, it's not a once and done deal. It's a continual effort every day, doing it and doing the work. And we're human. Sometimes we forget, we get distracted, we get caught up in situations and we get distracted. It's good to have a mentor or a friend, whether or not it's a horizontal relationship or vertical relationship, one way. You need what you need at whatever time that you need it. So I leave that with you. And I thank you so much for joining me for this moment of Tao Te Ching and energy talk, and allowing yourself to release your addiction to drama. So thank you so much for being here. Please like this video. Please share it on Tamu and Ngina, Priestess of Self. Healing begins with self first and then others. I thank you so much for being here. Let's take a nice deep breath. Let's remember our ancestors and all those who have transitioned before us. So I wish you peace, and I wish you the greatest of bliss. And thank you.